What's up guys, Josh here from Mixing Manga, and today I want to talk a bit about a new boss for Runescape. So there hasn't been any information released on this, but apparently on the high level forums, which I can't access, but apparently Mod Cressel said that either they are going to release a new boss this year, or there is one in development, which apparently he's actually working on, which is definitely a good sign. But so there could be one this year, which would be very nice to see. Like we've had one already this year. We had one last year. We had at least one. We had QBD. I think that was all. That was the middle of the year, I want to say. So like we don't even need a new one this year, to be quite honest. We've had quite a few already, but it would be nice to see. And I think if they can learn a lot from, firstly, some of the old bosses like Nex and the QBD, and also from the new boss, the Calphite King, because it takes advantage of the EOC. So if they can learn from that, then I think they can make a really good boss this time. Because the Calphite King is hard, it is a good boss, and it does use the EOC mechanics, but it was their first attempt, so it's kind of like, I think they could have done better. And it was their first attempt, so they're just testing it out, really seeing what they could do with the boss. So I think if they do make another one, then we'll see a lot better use of the EOC. That could be really interesting to see. So with this new boss, firstly, what it will drop, I hope it's sort of close to Nex's drop table. I mean, Calphite King is fine, but I think Nex is pretty much, if you don't get brews and restores, you're getting like 500k plus drops. Like you've got 3 mil worth of Onyx bolts, you got like a mil of Torstals, I want to say, like 800k worth of seeds, and I think it's like 500k of, actually no, it might be like a mil of rune ore and stuff like that. It's quite a nice drop table. And then in terms of the actual main drops, I hope they release new level 90 weaponry, because I can't see them releasing new armor anytime soon, especially not level 90 armor, because they're not going to replace Port's armor yet. I don't think we'll see a replacement for Port's armor this year, or even next year. It might be even further down the road. So they've obviously got Drygores, which is level 90 melee gear. Apparently level 90 range gear is coming from the Range Slayer dungeon, which was supposed to be released at the beginning of this year, but obviously hasn't, so I'm not sure when that's coming out. Hopefully next month. That would be quite cool to see. Not that I'll be able to access it, because you'll probably need like 90 Slayer or something quite high, but it would be nice to see level 90 gear coming into the game for range. And so this boss could drop level 90 mage weapons, which that will be quite interesting. So I think they would probably do a wand, a book, and a staff. Like, the thing with Drygores is, with melee they had 3 choices for dual wielding, but with mage, unless they're going to do like dual wielding wands, they're going to have to put a staff and the wand and book in there, or else it's just going to be dropping either like the staff, which is just 1 drop, which isn't really going to be worth it, or then just the wand and the book, which again, 2 drops isn't quite, I mean even 3 drops, like, it's not great. But then I guess that's all for mage they can really do, so we'll see what they do with that there. Maybe they'll, there's nothing else they could really do, to be honest, like, unless they were to release level 85 equipment in that boss at the same time as level 90. I'm not really sure what they could do to balance that main drop table, but we'll see when they release it. So in terms of the actual mechanics, I want to see them utilize the EOC a lot more. I do like the kind of teamwork aspects of the Calphite King, where you've got to have designated roles. You need a tanker, you need a evoker, and you need attackers. So that's kind of nice to see. They could expand that a bit more, so you've got your tank, you've got attackers. I doubt they would do sort of a evoking thing again, but maybe like, well, I don't really know what else they could do. So I did actually mention this before, that maybe they could have like a healer who, like in Dungeoneering, I think you can do this in Dungeoneering, but if you use food on someone, it heals them. So maybe something like that. I'm not really sure. Or maybe like they could release an ability that maybe if you're inside it you can't get hit, and then you need to use that at some point. I don't really know, but you know, some sort of teamwork aspect. I think one interesting thing they could do is actually making it so you need different styles, and so not how Nex is, where like you used to need different styles, but now if you just melee it, it's perfectly fine. I need to make it sort of like that boss in Dungeoneering, where he prays all three things and you can only deactivate one prayer at a time. At least I think you can only do one prayer, that's all I ever do. So something like that, where he'll pray, protect, range and mage, but not protect melee, so you have to melee him. And then they could do something like, or like just swap it around, so he prays melee and range, so you have to mage him. So that means that everyone has to tribrid, or maybe like one person has to melee, like bring a melee setup, one person brings a range, one person brings a mage, and so you got different teamwork aspects there. So that would be something quite cool to see, I would think. And it's just if they just bring in more teamwork to it, it would be quite nice. Because while I do enjoy duoing bosses, or even soloing, it is kind of cool to have a teamwork boss. And because like at this point Nex is pretty much a solo boss now, all the God Wars bosses are for solo, so it'd be nice to bring in some more teamwork ones as well. And then in terms of the EOC mechanics, they did pretty well with the Calphite King. They put some bleeds in there, they put some stuns, and I think that was it. And there's not really much else they could do. I mean, so I've already mentioned the prayers, but I hope that they do pray overhead the boss, and also maybe it will use turmoil as well. That could be an interesting tactic. And then in terms of abilities, it should use bleeds and stuns. Maybe not as many stuns as the Calphite King, because he does stun quite a lot, but maybe they could use some attacks that we have. So it could use slaughter, it could use destroy, maybe even ultimates. Like maybe actually it builds up an adrenaline bar, and so you can see that, and there could be a way to stop it. And then like if he does an ultimate, he can do like 3 times more powerful than what we can do, so that would be a very dangerous attack, you know, something like that. So you can actually use abilities that we have to a larger extent than what the Calphite King does. That would be quite interesting, and also it would be quite a hard boss if he can do that. And also they just need to make it difficult. Like they need to make a really hard boss, and like Calphite King isn't hard, it's just annoying really, especially with the mage phase where the balls just hit so much, and like it's hard to make it properly hard, to be honest, because like, well, first it should hit hard obviously, but then it should involve some tactic to it as well, so you can like avoid those hard hits and that kind of thing. So you know, it's quite difficult to balance and actually make a hard boss, so we'll see what Jagex can do with it really. So I've got no idea when it will be released, no idea when they'll actually announce it, but like I hope it will be a good boss when it does come out, and there's something to look forward to, I guess, although the God Wars update is looking extremely good as well. So actually, well, to be honest, that's probably out by the time this is uploaded, but yeah, that'll be cool. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all later.